This speech focused on pointing out the major difference and striking resemblance between the two infamous ships sinking, the Titanic and the Costa Concordia. On the morning of April 10th in 1912, the Titanic set sail from England and lying at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean 4 days later. While on the evening of January 13 in 2012, the Costa Concordia set sail from Italy, and 4 days later, a day later, the ship lied parallelly sunk off the Italian Ocean. So there are some similarities between both of them. So the first one, both the Titanic and Costa Concordia were enormous and made the ships of their times. The Titanic was the largest ship of her days with the length of 882 feet with 9 decks, while the Concordia was a little larger, with 951 feet long with 13 decks. Both ships were luxury ships, where they had pools, restaurants, a variety of activities, and places for passengers to relax and enjoy their time on board. As each ship was sinking, there were acts of courage and acts of cowardice as well. For example, a number of men on the Titanic ship gave up their seats in lifeboats to women and children, while the rule on Titanic as it was sinking was women and children first. There was a man dressed as a woman so he could get into a lifeboat. While the Costa Concordia was sinking, it seemed to be every man for himself, except the ship's captain left his ship before passengers and crew were safely off, and he refused to go back when an Italian coast guard ordered him to do so. So they had the same reason of thinking that both struck something underwater. The major difference are firstly the fates of the two captains. Titanic's captain went down with his ship into the heart of Atlantic Ocean while the captain of the Concordia left his ship and survived. And the Titanic was a transit ocean liner that provided transportation across the Atlantic Ocean, while the Costa Concordia was a cruise ship which provided vacation tours around the Mediterranean Sea. There were differences in the way they sank too. The Titanic sank in the deep cold ocean water while the Concordia sank in much warmer, shallower water near the coast, and came to rest on its side with much the ship above the water. The, Specifically, the Titanic struck an iceberg while the Costa Concordia struck rocks near an island off the Italy's coast. The greatest difference between the two disasters was the numbers of lives lost. In the Titanic accident, more than 100, 1,500 people died drowning or frozen to death in the icy North Atlantic water. Only 700 and more people survived because the ship only carried about half the number of lifeboats needed for all passengers, and mostly most lifeboats weren't full when they left the Titanic. Many people never had the chance to be saved. When the Concordia sank, 32 people lost their lives, 2 remained missing, and almost 4,200 people survived the disaster because there were extra lifeboats with room for 25% more people than the ship could hold. But as the ship was lying on its side, many of the lifeboats couldn't be lowered into the water. A strange thing happened when a Swiss survived tourist of the Concordia reported the song Michael grew on in the movie Titanic was playing in the dining room when the crash happened. In conclusion, whenever people travel on ships, trains, or planes, the possibility of disasters is always present. The two accidents remind us that no matter how safe we are told to feel, accidents can happen at any time, so you need to be on the tool when things happen.